You are now in the Soul Studio with your host, JaciCapice, right here on worldwidecloreradio.com. Relax, relate, breathe.
This is the Soul Studio. It's Thursday. Is our favorite time of the week, man. Favorite time of the week. We're in here chilling with DJ L Boog. We got Jay Rock over there, engineer, man. We doing it big. We have an awesome show tonight, y'all. We have the wonderful, international champion of hip hop culture, TONI BLACKMAN, is going to be joining us up in here. We got Mahogany Jones too. She's supposed to be on her way. I don't know where she is. I know it's kind of rainy and slippery out here, so we kind of trying to make do before she gets here. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool though.
Yeah, it's all good. But no, we have, y'all, TONI BLACKMAN is an international champion of hip hop culture, known for the irresistible, contagious energy of her performances and for her alluring female presence. Yeah, she is beautiful. She's all heart, all rhythm, all song, all power. A one-woman revolution of poetry and microphone. That's dope. She is the first ever hip-hop artist to work as an American cultural specialist and has served all over the world, where her residencies include performance, workshops, and lectures on hip-hop music and culture. We getting ready to hear from her on the phone now. Y'all get ready. We getting ready to hear from her on the phone. She is an author and performer who has shared the stage with the likes of Erykah Badu, Mos Def, The Roots, Tang Clan. I mean, just a bunch of folks, just super hip-hop heads right there.
All those people?
All them people.
All them people.
Yes. She is phenomenal. She is beautiful and was chosen as one of Dove's Real Women Role Model Women Who Should Be Famous campaign, which spotlights women whose lives and careers are focused on boosting young women, young girls' self-esteem and self-image. Along with all these things in her toolbox, guess what? She rhymes like a girl. TONI BLACKMAN, you joined us from New York. What's up, sis?
What's up?
Yeah. How you doing?
I am good. Long day, but good.
I know. That's right. You said you were a little bit under the weather when I was talking to you earlier this week.
Yeah, I got over that. Raw garlic, green juice, sleep, soup, kale salad.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
Doesn't it? I have to make a list. Y'all hearing that? The artists listening in, y'all better take a list on those things.
I was being facetious.
You're being facetious.
Yeah, kale salad is not it for me. I'm sorry.
That's not it. TONI, now you know Boog, don't you? You know Boog.
DJ L Boog, no, I don't know.
Yeah, introduce yourself, DJ.
How you doing, Miss TONI?
How you doing?
I'm good. Actually, I met you the year before last when I auditioned with Mahogany Jones.
Oh, word. Okay.
He was the cat. I'm sure you had a mohawk then, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a colorful mohawk then.
Oh, nice to re-meet you.
Yes. So, TONI BLACKMAN, it is such an honor to have you on the show today. You know, we're talking hip-hop culture. And for you, how do you define hip-hop? What does that mean to you?
You know, hip-hop culture, it's about the different music and the different forms of creative expression. Mm-hmm. It's about rapping and DJing and dancing and visual art. It's about knowledge, vocal percussion, also known as beatboxing, entrepreneurship and fashion, and the new movements around hip-hop education, hip-hop activism. All of those elements make up what is the culture of hip-hop. And so for me, when I say the term hip-hop, I'm representing all of that, and it's not just about a rap song.
Right. Yeah, you definitely are representing all of that. And how did you know, like, how did your love for hip-hop, necessarily come about? Like, what's your story behind that? How did you find it, or how did it find you?
I think hip-hop found me. Hip-hop chose me, which is why I haven't been able to leave it alone. I tried to break up with it a few times.
Oh, wow.
And, and I think I started dancing first, popping, locking.
Oh, wow. Oh, snap.
B-girl.
Yeah, I never did windmills. I was always afraid of cartwheels, but I danced. I think I started freestyling in middle school as a way to pass the time. With Laverne Rice and Felicia Gaines.
Oh, boy.
On the bus on the way to school. It was around the time the the city bus, the state had all these budget cuts, so they cut out all the after-school programs, the arts programs, the music programs, and they also cut school buses from a lot of neighborhoods.
Oh, wow.
And the neighborhood where I lived with my grandparents was one of them, so we had to catch the, quote, city bus. And it was a long ride to get there because it went in a big circle.
Right.
And we would sit in the back of the bus and freestyle on the way to school.
That's dope. Now, would someone be beatboxing?
Huh?
Would someone be beatboxing while someone's flowing? Like, what's the setup like? Like, take us there.
You know, we didn't beatbox.
Yeah.
I mean, like, your beat maker, the person who took their keys and beat against the wall.
Oh, that's what's up.
Taking it to the roots of the drum.
Come on now.
To Africa.
Yes.
Unknowingly and unconsciously, these young people were connecting to the ancestors.
Nice.
Without guidance, though.
Yeah. So for you, when did you start to transition, you know, your love for hip hop into an empowering type thing, empowering women and girls through hip hop as your mission?
Oh, you know, it's funny. It wasn't. At first, I would have said that happened in the mid-90s, like the mid to late 90s. But actually, it started when I was a kid. Like, I started working for the Leisure Services Department, which in our town is basically Parks and Recreation in other cities. And I used to watch the kids, you know, in the summer programs, and they would play kickball. And games like that. And they got sick of kickball. They got sick of board games. They got sick of drawing pictures. So I pulled out a boombox and put some beats on, and they started dancing and rapping.
Dope.
And so I didn't realize that until there was a filmmaker doing a documentary, and he included a feature of my work, and he interviewed my cousin Carla. And when he interviewed my cousin, she started to tell stories. And she started to talk about all the stuff that Toni did as a kid. Wow. And it's crazy because it's stuff I forgot.
Oh, wow. See, I love that when they bring up the story.
If I was there, you think I remember, but I've just done so much since then. It's always been a part of me, and it's that much a part of my soul. I'm not even present to it. It's kind of like breathing, brushing your teeth. Like, you don't really think about what time you did that. You just do it.
Right. So now, how do you use the hip hop? How do you use hip hop to teach women and young girls about their self-esteem? Like, I know you do workshops and you actually, you know, you do lectures and things like that.
Well, I use it in a myriad of ways, but my favorite way to use it is through improvisation. And challenging participants to improvise, to think on their feet through freestyle rap exercises, improvisational poetry, and impromptu speaking exercises. I combine like those three of my interests and passions where I have experience, and then I create an environment. And this is where like my spiritual training comes into play. A lot of the healing work that I've done on myself and my own heart and my own life comes into play, and I'm able to really focus in and kind of guide the energy. And I facilitate ciphers. You know, the cipher represents 360 degrees. It's about completion of thought, giving and exchanging information, energy, and ideas. And the cipher is the premise for all of the work I do. So whether I'm working with girls and women, with boys or men, or with just everybody, that's the foundation of it. And the circle, the cipher is central to it all, because the circle is a sacred shape. It's sacred geometry. Right. And one of the challenges of what's missing now in contemporary times when we're looking at pop culture is that there's not enough of the cipher that's present. There's a lot of mic passing, and there's a lot of open micing and sharing of the stage, but there's not enough of the circle where the central focus is on how we connect and vibe and share with one another. That's how I think girls and women feel empowered. Right. Because you can source the energy of the person next to you or across from you. Yep. You can source that energy, and then it allows you to open up and trust the presence of your own power. Yes. And then if you can share it in a safe space, You know, then you become affirmed. And then at the end of the exercises, you walk away feeling empowered and somewhat transformed.
Wow. So some of that, does it have to do with, you know, kind of letting go of your own reservations? I mean, because all of us have a story. I mean, your story, you know, growing up is truly phenomenal. And being a part of the cipher, does that mean that you have to be willing to be transparent and willing to be vulnerable?
Oh yeah. I don't do ciphers, whether it's with some hardcore MCs from the Bronx or Brownsville, Brooklyn, or DC, or whether it's some girls in the Girl Scouts,
right?
The 6th grade. Like vulnerability is a part of the creative process.
Right.
And that's what makes the creative process so healing and transformative for artists and non-artists alike. Because we tap into that part of our hearts and our spirits that we don't normally access in our day-to-day lives. Like, no one asks that of you in the classroom, because much of the American educational system is about memorizing and regurgitating facts and information. It's not about processing and teaching people to use their minds and not teaching people on how to use their intuition as a guide. That's not what it's about. People get in the space to be able to do that. It's very liberating. When you get liberated, what do? You get power.
All right,
access to your personal power.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I think Boog's got a question for you too, from the fella's standpoint.
The question is, how do the lessons that you teach the women, how do they transfer over to the men? Like, as far as how they learn to view and interact with women?
It's, you know, it's not that different. The only thing is that men are usually more willing, and it's contrary to the stereotype. There's a lot of bad stereotypes we have about men. And what happens is that men then fall into line with the stereotypes. Because they think that's what's expected of them, because that's what society says being a man is. But you also can create a safe space for a man, and I often think that women are more effective facilitators of the because women are able to create that space that only a woman can create. And so men are able to take instruction from a woman in a different way than they would receive it from a man telling them what to do.
Wow, so there's an awesome balance.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's a whole science to, like I've spent the last 20 years sciencing the cipher. And the whole concept of how to help people get open and how to guide people. So the cipher workshop is really participant-centered. Like, people teach themselves.
Yeah.
The thing that I facilitate is the guiding of the energy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And so it's not the workshop. If you can't rhyme, it's not for you. Right? Go learn the rhyme and then come back. Right?
Boom! I love
if you can rhyme.
I feel that.
Yes. You were saying if you can rhyme, then you're in there.
Then we can work through some of them. You know, you got to have a basic understanding of flow.
I love it.
And you got to have that concept of putting words together and telling some sort of story or creating some sort of poetry.
Yes.
And so you have to be able to do that on some level. And then that's when people who participate in the cipher think they really work it. But I've also, in the past few years, I've started doing it where you didn't have to rap.
Oh, wow.
And
you just
use improvisational poetry and spoken word. Because everybody can't rap.
True. Very, very true.
So what I do...
Yeah, because I can't rap.
Boog said he can't rap.
I'm not even going to try to get in one of your workshops.
I do ciphers outside of the hip-hop community, outside of the hip-hop education. It's the focus really is on the cipher itself.
Okay.
It's just that there's a little hip-hop music, and we borrow from the hip-hop aesthetic. But the rap is not the main focus. And it's one of the other beautiful ways, brilliant ways that hip-hop is influencing learning, and that we sleep on, and we sometimes, it goes unacknowledged.
Wow. Well, Toni, we're going to get into some of your music. I want for our listeners to really hear your flow and what you do. I think we're going to do Channel 1.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. We'll be back here talking with Toni. Y'all listening to the Soul Studio. Keep it locked right here. This is Channel 1. Toni Blackman.
Oh, wait. Yeah. just wanna write. I dream of writing tight. I fantasize and see myself living in the light, not the fame. That light is not the same, but the light coming from within. The light that radiates when the water's deep, but I dive in anyway. Why put off tomorrow what you can do today? But my mind ain't focused and my thoughts seem to stray. No matter how long or how hard I pray, I just wanna feel good and not have to worry. Take my time and not be in a hurry. Walk with God and walk slow. Walk in faith and walk like I know that the laws of attraction are at work. The past is the past, it can no longer hurt me. But can I really be free? So I spend most of my days ignoring reality, just to get myself into that seat, high flying space, so I can make loose the noose of living in this place on this earth. Before things get better, they sometimes get worse. Somebody call a doctor, somebody bring the nurse. Time for healing time. Medication will be dispersed, but no pill, no drugs, just love. All vaccinations, we dispose of them, put them in the trash. We's about to give the whole world a spiritual bath. Bathe mankind in kindness. Surely Congress can get behind this. Let me call my friends over at the UN. Better yet, get an army of children. Cause out of the mouths of babes, are you listening to what the children says or saying? The innocent truth that they be conveying. Mom nature is speaking while we keep disobeying. At some point we gotta stop betraying her. I'ma rhyme when I feel like it. Spit truth so real they think I am psychic. Coming from the core, you might cry a little more. Find yourself on the floor, fetal position might be explored. It's okay, that's a sign that you got good rapport with yourself on the inside. When your self cracks open real wide, once the old self is gone and then died, we can no longer hide. We can no longer hide from ourselves. We can only hide from ourselves for so long. For so long, yeah. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. This lyrical meditation has been executed, implemented. It is complete.
You may not believe it till you see it. Whoa. I got the warrior spirit. Got a giant inside. And with a lot of work and a lot of time, now I found my pride. Feel it. Whoa. You may not believe it till you see it. Whoa. I got the warrior spirit. Got a giant inside. And with a lot of work and a lot of time, now I found my pride.
Yes. What y'all think about that Fearless remix, man? That thing is dope.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
I'm feeling that. I think we need to put that in rotation. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's done.
Is it done? It's in there?
Yes, it's done.
Tony, we love that, honey.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, now
yeah, Maya Angelina stepped to me with this. Yes, I got this song, I got this concept.
Yeah.
And so it was just ironic that at the same time she was working on a song called Fearless, I was working on a project that dealt with meditation and letting go of fear.
Wow.
So I immediately said yes.
Yes. And what's her name again? Maya Azucena?
Maya Azucena. It's M-A-Y-A.
Yes.
And then the last name is A-Z-U-C-N-A.
I love it. I love it. Tony.
She has some incredible music.
Yeah.
And she's been making incredible moves. And she's a singer, and she does some very powerful work. And she had a great project she did around domestic violence. Wow. And yeah, she's toured all over the world.
Yeah.
And she's a beautiful person inside and out.
That's awesome. You know, the birds of a feather flock together. Most definitely. You know, we got Mahogany Jones in the building. She has joined us. We said we were going to give her a hand clap when she got up in
Mahogany made it.
And you guys are connected, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much
so.
so.
You connected with Toni.
Yes, indeed.
How did you guys end up meeting? How did y'all end up meeting?
I guess I'll share. It was over 10 years ago. It's so funny. I hate to even date myself like that, but there it is. And I initially started doing spoken word, and but just came to the space where I was like, "Yo, I want to MC," and ran into just Miss Blackman. I always seen her. She had a band at the time. They were super dope, and just knew of her work. And we ran into each other, and I just was sharing my heart and sharing how I wanted to learn how to MC.
Yeah.
She said, "Well, you know, I have this collective called Freestyle Union, and it's like an artist development camp." And you can audition and you can apply. And I remember being super nervous and I don't know. And I applied, and she was gracious, and it was an amazing collective, male and female, of just artisans, MCs, and poets, and we would get together and we would do the work, you know, and more so than it just necessarily being about MCing. Right. It was really about just self-development, you know, and it was just like a lot of spiritual work and, you know, definitely a lot of craft work. Yeah. And it was just the dopest, like, year of my life. And just opened up a lot of great doors. And as a member of Freestyle Union, Toni actually presented me with the opportunity, along with one of our mutual friends, to do BET's 106 and Park Freestyle Friday. And I was going to be the first up to that. Only been rocking for about a year. Yeah. But the practices of just getting open and just doing the thing. Yeah. It just, you know, along with God's grace, because I really was a newbie. Yeah. Opened the door for me to win like 4 times and just be undefeated. And so it's been awesome. We also rock together with a collective we have called Rhyme Like a Girl. Yes. And that journey is been super dope. And so yeah, Toni for years opened. She's the original hip hop ambassador. So say it. Extended and opened the door for me to have the opportunity. So it's been dope. You know what I mean? Just watching somebody live what it is to be a hip hop activist, you know what I'm saying, and just have a model of that, you know what I mean. And so yeah, it's been great.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Toni. Wow, mentor to mentee, right? Yes. That's what's up, man. So Toni, freestyling, we're talking about freestyling. You know, what exactly is that? Because there may be some listeners who don't know exactly what freestyling is. We got into what the cipher is, but what is freestyling?
Well, you know, it's funny because I just did a workshop recently with some young people, and they wanted to debate what freestyling was. And so half of the group said freestyling is something you're doing for the first time, you're not that familiar with, you might have just wrote it. And then the other half of the group gave the correct definition, and freestyling is spontaneous rhyme, created in the moment, off the top of the dome, which technically is not really off the dome, it's really from the heart. Right. And it's about improvisation, and that's what freestyle is. And it's freestyling is rooted in having technique, and it's usually better when there are constraints provided for creation, and one must have certain skills. The same way you can't improvise on a saxophone if you don't know how to play it. True. And so you gotta know how to play it, and so you need to have other skills before you can really freestyle well and have access to your vocabulary. Your vocabulary is, you know, those are the notes that the MC plays. So you gotta learn your way around them, and that's what, you know, freestyling is in my world.
Wow, we love this world, don't we?
Yes.
Don't we?
Beautiful world. A beautiful, beautiful.
I'm about to learn how to freestyle.
Yeah. Get open. It's work. You got to come to the dojo. Yo, back in the day, Toni is like hip hop's Diane. Who's the chick from Fame?
Debbie Allen played Lydia. Yep.
It's not a game. Don't play. You're not playing no games. Not taking no shorts out here in these.
Toni, you on them, aren't you? Huh? They getting that circle and it's on and popping.
Yeah. Can you speak up a little, Jack?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, yeah. I was saying when we get in these the freestyling sessions and the ciphers, Mahogany was saying that you get on them, that it's on and popping in those circles.
Yeah. You know, this comes from my background in terms of training and development. That's what I studied in school. My first professional job was with a media training firm that sent me to all kind of training camps to learn how to train the trainer. And it's interesting. I was doing all that thinking, what good is this going to do me? I was in school. What good is it for me to learn this? And then years later, I use it all the time.
Wow.
So it's funny how divine order unfolds and how something that's very painful can turn into the biggest gift, 20 years later.
That's very true. And I'm thinking about both you and Mahogany and your passion towards, women and young girls, getting a sense of self-worth and self-esteem and, with your own journeys. And I know you, Mahogany, I know that you've had some adversities and things of just being you, just how you were saying how the divine order, it is very awesome how those things do tend to come back around so that you can be empowered. How did that click for you to say, you know what, I'm going to use my adversity where I got teased for maybe being a little bigger, a little more, having more weight on my bones than others, or being a darker hue or struggling with family struggles. How did that pop for you to then turn that into something positive for women, for both of you, for women and young girls, to get past their own?
I went to Howard University for my BA and my MA degree, and it nothing clicked. It was a conscious choice, and I was around a bunch of folks who were manifesting their dreams. And one of the blessings I feel like attending an HBCU is that everybody got swag. So whether you're an engineer, a med school nerd, a computer geek, you got on, you doing English, whatever it is you're doing, you're in the theater department, everybody was killing the game of whatever they were into. And so you became injected with a sense of duty to honor your life purpose. And then also the legacy and the history of seeing people who look like you, who speak like you, who came from various backgrounds, but they did the same. And so for me, I've always led a life of service. I've been a servant since I was a child. I've been an activist before I knew what the word meant. And hip-hop has been a part of me since I was 9 or 10 years old. And so it was just a natural order of things for it to occur. I think what was a bigger challenge for me was accepting the assignment. I think there are assignments that we're each given, and a lot of us are afraid to fully step into our power, and so we dance around it, we scurry around it. We look at other people, and instead of being true to ourselves and honor our own voice, we try to be like them. We try to follow in their footsteps instead of understanding and trusting that God has given us the personal power and the spiritual power we need to be true to what it is we are specifically assigned to do. And so that's just something like, I think that some of us fight ourselves for a long time, some fight longer than others. But the beauty of it all clicks when we surrender to that which we are supposed to do. And the young people will tell you if you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, true.
They'll let you know.
Yes, they will.
And the old folks do too when we do workshops and those sorts of things. But I think it's just a natural thing. I do a lot of work with girls and women, but I do just as much work with males.
Yes.
It's just that the era that we're living in, it's the age of the woman. It's time for girls and women to rise. And people are challenging this idea of domestic violence and abuse. People are challenging sex trafficking. People are challenging this idea that it's okay for girls and women to, even for little girls to be molested. People are challenging things that weren't discussed before because it was taboo.
Right.
And so we still have challenges with churches and mosques and the religious community where they're not talking about this enough, and we're not talking frank enough, we're not talking openly enough. And I'm really excited that I kept rhyming and I kept being engaged with the arts.
Yes. Because
it's giving me a vehicle to communicate with whomever it is. So I can go to a group of non-hip-hop heads and still move them via my art and my craft, because if it's real, people feel it.
Yes, and that's what music does. Music does go right to your soul. You know, it really does. You know, and hip hop has a way of telling that story and connecting folks through the storytelling.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's why it's so global.
Yeah.
And it's why it's this huge phenomenon. It's why they predicted its death over and over again, but it's still alive.
Yep. Yep, very true.
Definitely.
Very true. Very true. Well, Mahogany, I want you to answer that question when we come back from break.
Definitely.
We're going to answer that question. But, Tony, we're going to go ahead and play Let It Flow. I love that. You on there singing that. Let it flow. What's the energy behind that?
Speaking of Howard, there was a cat who I went to undergrad with. His father was Jamil Nasser, a highly respected jazz musician. In the past, he's an engineering student back in school, and he decided he was going to honor his gift to play his music.
Nice.
And so he would call me monthly to say, what you got, T, what you got, what you working on. And so finally, I was like, you know what? I need some meditational music to create some inspirational audio too. And so he started to send me tracks, and we ended up working that one out. And he sent the title and came up with the melody of the chorus, and then I just worked around that. So I'm pretty pleased with the results, and he is, and we're going to be doing more stuff together. But his name is Munir Nasser, and so he's the composer.
Yes, yes. Well, we are going to listen to this. It's called Let It Flow by Toni Blackman right here in the Soul Studio. We got Mahogany Jones in here, DJ L Boog, man. You guys keep it locked, okay? We'll be right back.
Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around it or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, and it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend. So sad, Lucy. Let it flow. Let it flow. Like water. Resistance is that with the least resistance, that which most complements your existence. Flow like water. Water cannot be contained or restrained. It is capable of conquering. It teaches us many lessons about surrendering. I am water. You are water. Be like water. Our earth is water. 75% as is our bodies. Let it flow like water. Listen to the water. Listen, nature's lullaby, where the falling from the sky are crashing against the shores. Listen and let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow and relax. Let it
flow. Let it flow like water and relax. Relax your eyes. Relax your eyelids. Relax your cheekbones.
And we're back. I had a chance to speak with Antonio Rafael, man. We're talking about Chiapas, man. He went out there and had a great time in Mexico. So listen up right here in the Soul Studio. It's the community focus segment.
Antonio Rafael, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
That's what's up, man. Where you been?
Yeah, I've been in southern Mexico in the state of Chiapas.
Wow, dope. What you doing out there?
So there's this program called Schools for Chiapas, and it's essentially it's a couple people, and they do what they can to raise money to build schools in Chiapas and Zapatista communities.
Oh, wow.
So we were down there, part of a delegation, doing a mural in this auditorium they built in Roberto Barrio is the name of the city. Roberto Barrio.
Yeah.
Which means neighborhood.
Wow.
So it's a little Zapatista community. It's called a caracol, which means snail. Caracol. And it means snail. I mean, that's kind of like the theory of the Zapatista government. It's like, it's moved slow, but it's, steady and strong and for the people. And the Zapatistas are essentially, it's this indigenous kind of, you might call it a peasant revolt that happened. They started planning in 1983, and then in 1994, when NAFTA dropped, they basically started an armed revolution in southern Mexico. NAFTA affected them very deeply because they're largely farmers, and in Spanish, they're campesinos, they're indigenous folks too. So, like, in terms of on the social ladder, indigenous and like black are in, like, similar kind of locations generally, in like in societies, So, they don't get a lot of they call it oportunidades, which is like opportunities, which is basically like a Mexican government welfare program that a lot of people live off of. So they don't get that. They live solely off the land. And NAFTA, what it did is it helped the United States send corn to Mexico, and that corn was at a lower price than it is here. So it's like, because the U.S. subsidizes the corn industry so much, the corn like beat out their corn in prices. But yeah, so it's a really fascinating story and history and a movement. Honestly, it's really like an indigenous-led movement. At Eastern Michigan, I had a professor named Richard Stoller-Shoke, amazing guy, and he's on sabbatical right now in Chiapas doing research. And he linked up with this Schools for Chiapas group and basically just, say, hey, this is a mural program. I know you do art in Detroit. It'd be great to have you come out here. So I went out there, did the mural program, and I stayed with him a couple days afterwards. And so he was just connected. He's connected with everybody there. The man is like a magnet for radicals and for left-wing folks and for critical people. People who are trying to make a difference.
I like that, critical people.
Yeah, critical people. It's two meanings: criticism and then the importance of the times that we're in.
Right. So coming back home, what did you bring back with you?
I guess I was just really, really impressed by the level of organizing that they have. I mean, if you Grace Lee Boggs' quote is, we're looking. There's a need for organizers and movement that are people who are not just opposing the systems that oppress them, but also transforming themselves into their communities in the same process. So creating those alternative societies, those alternative systems, those alternative institutions, they are creating their own parallel institutions alongside city governments, municipal governments that are doing their own thing,
right?
But they're literally their own indigenous government, and it's just fascinating to see people organizing at that level.
Truly. And I mean, do you think that's something that the principles that are there, is that something that we could utilize here in our own city or in our own communities?
I do want to say one last thing is that the same systems of oppression that are really getting them, like in Latin America, in South America, in Africa, like, large oil companies, banks. I mean, they're the same people we're fighting here in Detroit. We got Marathon, polluting the shit out of Del Rey.
Yeah.
We have, the banks who've taken over the city of Detroit right now. So there is a lot of commonality in the struggle between the indigenous people in southern Mexico as well as, you know, the kind of struggles and fights we have going on here in Detroit.
Man, that was Antonio Raphael. We're going to do that segment, Community Focus, every other week. Man, that's a busy dude. He's really tapped into the community, so it's really a blessing to have him.
I love the work he does.
Yes, to have him in on the show. So, man, we've been talking with Toni Blackman all the way from NYC, man. All the way from NYC, man. We are so glad to have you on here, sis. This show is way too short, you know? We were just saying we need to have a longer show so we can vibe with you a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's not right. It needs to be. We need a little bit more. We need just a touch more. So with the time that we have left, you know, we heard tracks and new music, which is awesome, and love the meditation piece. So
yes.
What upcoming projects do you have that are in the works?
Well, you know, I finished my book, The Wisdom of the Cipher.
Yes.
I actually have a few people looking at it. For grammatical edits and structure and the flow. And I'm working on a memoir of an excerpt of my life with hip-hop, and I have 4 chapters that still need to be rewritten. And then I've been working diligently, recording every Tuesday on this inspirational audio meditation project, and have about 3 EPs that all need to be mixed. And there's a distribution deal on the table and offer, but not sure if it's the right thing right now.
Right.
So going through that whole process of figuring out what's the best move, how slow should I move, and really just honoring myself and what it is I want to do. I think I've spent so much time trying to fit into other people's boxes and the whole industry box, and doing the game and doing the dance and figuring out what people want. And now I get what I want. And like I said, I've just been really committed to honoring who it is I am and honoring my purpose and being true to my voice, and you know, being inspired by my mentors, but doing what I need to do so that I can stand and really, really demonstrate, you know, their contribution to me and what it looks like for Toni to evolve and bloom into a flower.
No, I mean, and it's awesome. I mean, that last piece, is it Let It Flow?
Yes.
That's from your meditation release?
That's
powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and I think so often, so many other communities have like your Louise, you know, Hayes and different people that they can listen to. So I'm excited about this because I feel like people of our generation, you know, people that are heads, you know, get to really hear. And even if you're not a head, you know, just to have your life spoken into the way that you chose to do it with this project is really powerful. So that's what's up.
I know we got our final question for the night too. It's coming from DJ L Boog. He's just been over here just loving this conversation.
Yeah, I was just listening. I wasn't even gonna say nothing else, but you know, Ms. Blackman. So the last question of the day is: what is the legacy that you wish to leave, and what does that look like?
The legacy?
Yeah. What legacy do you wish to leave?
You know what? I want to leave a legacy of authentic living. I think we BS so much. We lie so much. I mean, we quote scripture. We read books on self-help. We talk more about motivation. We work in jobs we don't really like. We live in places we don't want to be. We stay in marriages that aren't really authentic. We choose lifestyles according to other people's rules and put ourselves in a box. And I'm just an advocate, and I'm taking a stand for authentic living. And how do you live each day as if it's your last? How do you live and breathe from your heart, and to live a full life? And I think that's the way we truly honor our existence to God, is when we do that. If we're operating in fear, if we're operating from scarcity, if we're operating from desperation and a need to get put on, if we're operating from, you know, an inability to be still and be quiet, so we got to be busy because we live in America and that's such a huge part of the culture, then that's not authentic, and we're really out of integrity with ourselves and with our spirits. And so I would like to think that I've been able to make an impact on people's lives, and that in the future I'm going to make a greater impact on the lives of people, particularly from the hip hop and the arts community, but just across the board, so that we can live fully. And I love the end of a workshop when people get it. The lights go on, and when people when they talk to me, touching their hearts, and when there's a sincere form of exhilaration or peace, and that I was able to do that and to be able to channel the spirit through me. And so I just try to take my personal experience and share as much as I can, and then I confront the artists around me, you know?
Yeah.
To confront their self-sabotage. I mean, being late is self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Not eating right is self-sabotage. Not preparing for an opportunity, whether it's a performance, presentation, whatever, it's self-sabotage. And not taking care of yourself is self-sabotage.
Yes.
And not being able to let go of dead friendships is self-sabotage. And not being bold enough to be yourself is a form of self-sabotage, because you'll always be limited if you're looking outside of yourself and not looking within and living full out.
Wow.
I dig that. I like that.
Yeah. Toni Blackman. She's all heart, all rhythm, all song, all power. A one-woman revolution of poetry and microphone. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Super phenomenal.
You have truly blessed us on the mic tonight, sister.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing me.
Yes, we thank you, and we're going to keep in contact with you when you drop your project, when it's out in the open and ready for everyone to hear it and experience it. We definitely want to get an inside track on that one.
I need an exclusive.
Yeah, DJ Boog needs an exclusive.
I need an exclusive.
Exclusive. Yes. Anything you want to say, Mahogany, to your mentor before we say goodnight?
That's it, man. Much love. Really appreciate just the realness, you being authentic, you pushing us to be authentic. And yeah, that's what's up. Looking forward to everything that's dropping, that's coming out, and much love. Much love.
Man. That's it right there. Thanks so much, sister, for joining us. We love you, and we just continue, continue success and just keep doing your thing.
Love you. Thank you. Keep, make the music live, man,
Yes, ma'am.
You can't hold us back, and I'm just excited that there's so many of us taking advantage of this frontier on the internet and just keeping it alive and staying focused. It's necessary. So understand that the work you and DJ Boog are doing is important.
Yes, ma'am.
Really important.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, I feel empowered in a mug. I never stop, never quit. Never quit. We gonna do this thing. We gonna run this thing.
And we gonna remain authentic.
Authentic.
100.
That's the word.
Yes.
Authentic. Well, before we get out of here, y'all, we're gonna listen to another track here by Toni Blackman. It's called Ain't Nothing Wrong. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. We got Negroes Love coming up in here.
That's my bird.
Yes, it's gonna be off the chain. Same time, same bat station right here. You already know. WorldwideCoreRadio.com right here. Doing big things. Programming 7 days, 365, 24/7. Right here, we doing big things, man. Keeping it authentic.
100.
Right here on Internet Radio, man. This is called Ain't Nothing Wrong by Toni Blackman, man. We love you. Peace, prosperity, y'all. Be good. See y'all next week.
Singing about the sunshine, ain't nothing wrong with singing a happy, happy life. Sometimes we carry such heavy loads. Sometimes we choose long road. We don't see the blessings in our world. We carry painful memories from when we were just boys and girls. Ain't nothing wrong with singing about the sunshine. Ain't nothing wrong with singing a happy, happy life. Sometimes we worry when we're too happy, when we whistle and sing about the joy that life brings. When we're in love, when we're full in the light.
and we know. We just trust and we care. We just trust and believe that love will always be there. See your smile, your smile, your smile
possesses the power of a happy song to put another in a good mood, yeah.
See your smile, your smile, your smile
possesses the power to alter even your own attitude, which possesses the power to determine your altitude. Rise, 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 still I rise, rise like southwestern sun, coming to awaken souls, shaking the fruit from the tree so we might all eat. Just a taste of happiness. You can't always be pissed.
Ain't nothing wrong with singing about the sunshine. Ain't nothing wrong with singing a happy, happy life. Ain't nothing wrong with singing about the sunshine. Ain't nothing wrong with singing